Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another day of math. Woo woo! Alright, so it is beautiful outside. So I decided I'm just going to sit outside and do this video today. So if it's a little windy or if there's a loud motorcycle that goes by on the bypass that's way behind me, I apologize, but it was just too nice to sit inside. So I'm going to do this outside. Alright, so let's get started. There were 24 students on a field trip to the aquarium. There were also 8 adults on the trip. Okay, so I know right away if I'm thinking 24 kids and 8 adults, that seems to me like you could do like not 3 groups, but 3 kids in a group 8 times if you want to even it out. And this is coming from the teacher in me who knows how many kids you can divide up to supervise. So just a little thinking. The expression 0 and 50 hundredths times 24 plus 8 represents the cost in dollars to buy everyone a 50-cent souvenir eraser. All right, so I want you to stop for a minute and think about that. So if everyone's going to get a souvenir eraser, that would be 24 students as well as 8 adults. And 50-cent eraser, they went ahead and made that a decimal to help you so that you're ready to solve the problem. So what I see is they put in parentheses 24 plus 8 first. Why would they do that? We know that in order of operations, we do what's in parentheses first. So if we do 24 plus 8 first, that'll tell us the number of people, number of peeps that we need to buy the erasers for, and then we would be multiplying that times 50 cents. Why? Because the erasers are 50 cents each. So you multiply the number of people times the amount of erasers, or times the cost of the eraser, and that'll tell you how much it would cost to get all of those erasers. So the first thing they did was use a picture it to help you. So they did students. Let's see what we've got. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. If we double that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. This is all 24 students pictured right here. And then over here, they did 4 adults and 4 adults. So that's all 8. I wonder why in the picture it, they cut them up into these groups of 4 and 2. Think about that. I wonder why they would put them in groups like that. Okay, hopefully your brain got to working. If each eraser is 50 cents, I know that 2 erasers is $1. And if we can make them $1, that's a lot easier to work with, right? So if we do these in pairs, we can easily count dollars. So look, 50 cents and 50 cents. So if we do these in pairs like that, let me switch colors here. 2 will make $1. So there's $1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 kids is $6. If I double that, that's another $6. So $12 for these kiddos. And then let's go over here to the parents. 50 cents plus 50 cents is $1. $2, $3, $4. So for the parents, it's another $4 for a total of $16. You see how smart that picture it was, where it went ahead and put them in pairs because it knows that if we just do 50 and 50, that's $1 and we can easily add them. And then they saved us an even bigger headache. We could have done this 1, 2 and then doubled it for down here, because over here they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't even need to count those. It's the same amount of kids, so we just double this number here. Or 1, 2 adults, so there's $2, and we just double that amount here to make $4. Now let's come down and do the expression portion. They left the 50 cents on the outside of the parentheses. The reason for that is because we have to first find out how many people we need. So we have to do that step first. So we do 24 kids plus 8 adults. Now we are going to find half of that because each eraser is not $1. If we just did 24 plus 8, that would tell us how much money it would be if all the erasers cost $1. But they're half of that. So look what they did. They did 50 cents times, which is the cost, but you can also think of it as half, because 50 cents is half, of this. Okay? So if we do 24 plus 8, we get 32. And then if we do 32 times 50, one, two, 1, 2, so we get $16. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the next page. It says, describe one way you could read the expression 0 and 50 hundredths times 24 plus 8. How could I read that? Well, one way I could read that might be starting with this. What would you say for that? What about this? The sum of 24 and 8 times 50 hundredths. What about that? I'm sure you can come up with some other things. I'm going to step inside, guys. Sorry. A little different, but I know it's breezy. It feels really great to sit in, but probably not so great to listen to. And Kat is outside with me, but she's all tangled up on her rope. So let me grab her. I apologize. Oh, meow. I know. Life's terrible. Life's terrible, Kat. She wants to stay outside. It's beautiful. She likes being out in the sun, but I worry that she runs away, so I keep her on a little leash. Okay. Hopefully that's better for your listening. Okay, so you have other options for number 2, but the only thing I ask you to look at for that number 2, the way that you would say it or the way that you would write it, does it make the 24 plus 8 in parentheses? That is the key. I noticed that on your last assignment, I gave you it was the popcorn day, the day with the popcorn. On the Google Doc, for those of you that opened it up, I said to you, and I'm going to go back to that page real quick. I said to you, what if Maria adds another friend that she's going to pay for? And so now she has 3 people that she's paying for. The big part of my question on the Google Doc was, what would your new equation be? A lot of you are not realizing that the number one part of this lesson for 5th grade with evaluating expressions isn't really as much the solve, because you can't do the solve until you can write the expression correctly. Okay, so let's take a look at number 3. How could you use picture it on the previous page to evaluate 50 cents times 24 plus 8? So I'm not going to answer that one in words because I pretty much explained it up here. about how you can, and I know it's a giant mess now when you go back and look at it, but if I take all this out, or try to, the picture it is really showing you how you can divide up your groups in half and make your 50 cents be $1. So that makes it a little bit easier to solve, okay? Now, number 4 says, evaluate 50 cents times 24 plus 8 to find the cost in dollars of the erasers. And we went ahead and did that on the model it and the picture it. So go ahead and put your answer in for number 4. Okay. Number 5. Morgan sees a different way to evaluate 50 cents times 24 plus 8. She finds half of 24 and half of 8 and then adds those numbers together. Why does her method work? First key to answering this problem is note, why does her method work? So her method does actually work. So I'm going to let you kind of answer that. Go ahead and pause this and answer that, and then we'll go ahead and discuss it. So whenever you're ready, hit play, take some time, pause it, solve that, figure out why that works, and then hit play when you're ready to see my answer. Okay, so it says that she finds half of 24. Well, half of 24 is 12. And then half of 8. Half of 8 is 4. Then she adds those together. And you will notice that her answer is correct. Her method does, in fact, work. You are supposed to think about, why does it work? Well, if you simply go back and look at that picture it again, that's going to be your key. Why does that work? Look at what they did here. And look at what they did here. If you totaled this up in money, that would be $16. If they were each $1. But they're not, they're 50 cents. The reason that works is because if you did 24 plus 8, you would get 32. The reason that doesn't work is because you're saying that all I have to do is add up the number of people, and that's how much money it costs. That would be if the erasers cost $1, which they don't. The erasers cost half of $1, 50 cents. So in other words, if you took the number of people and added them up and cut that in half, because each eraser is only half of $1, then that would tell you how much your total bill would be also. Okay? Number 6. The expression 3 times, and then number of students plus number of adults, represents the cost in dollars for another group to go to the dolphin show at the aquarium. Wonder why it would be 3. This part of the equation is the same. Number of students plus number of adults. And again, what this is telling us is the cost. That's how we would solve an equation for the cost to go to the dolphin show. What would that 3 be? This part of the equation is the same. If you remember in the last equation, this part was this. So what do you suppose this 3 is representing? If you answered that the 3 is the cost in dollars for each person to go, then that would be correct. So in other words, it's $3 a person to go to the dolphin show. And you have 24 students and 8 adults. So to solve that problem, we would need to add up the number of people first, because that's what's in parentheses. That would make the most sense. You first take that you have 32 people times $3 each. And that would tell you how much it costs for all of those people to go to the dolphin show. So it said, describe how the cost compares to the total number of students and adults. Well, the cost is $3 per person. Okay, so you would still need to add up your number of students and adults and then $3 a person. Okay. And then in the try it, number 7, describe what happens when you multiply a sum by 2. Think about that. What happens when you multiply a sum by 2? You're going to have a hard time answering this one if you can't put it into a real situation. So you have to actually make up some numbers that will really help you understand it, because it doesn't want to know an answer. It wants you to describe what would happen if you do this. So if you multiply a sum by 2. So if I just make up numbers, I have a sum of 5 and 3, which is 8. What happens if I multiply that by 2? Hope I gave you enough time to think about that. Boys and girls, what happens when you multiply anything by 2? Anything multiplied by 2 is double that number. The key is, boys and girls, anytime you multiply something by 2, you are doubling it. Okay, so you find the sum of any two numbers. And if you multiply it by 2, you're just doubling that number. You're doubling that sum, I should say. All right, number 8. Sarah buys a shirt that regularly costs $12 and a pair of pants that regularly cost $26. They are on sale, so she needs to pay half the regular cost. Evaluate the expression 1/2 times 12 plus 26 to find Sarah's cost in dollars. Okay, they did you a favor, boys and girls. They gave you the equation. Okay, where we're heading toward is you would need to create the equation for this. So Sarah's buying a shirt that's $12 and a pair of pants that's $26. But she gets up to the register and finds out that they are on sale. So we're going to do 1/2 of that cost. Okay, and there's your equation. So using PEMDAS, we would need to add first. Pause this, solve it, hit play when you're ready. Okay, when I add 12 plus 26, I get 38. Bring down the rest. Now, boys and girls, if you want to do old school on this one and turn 38 into an improper fraction and then divide, you certainly can. Or you can just know that 1/2 of 38 means that you are cutting 38 in half. So you are simply dividing 38 by 2. And your answer is that she spent $19. which is a pretty good price, I would say. Okay, boys and girls, next for you, I'll try to pull up the activity, but I don't know if I have it ready to go. Let me see. Probably going to kick me off. In your lesson plan, yep, it did. In your lesson plan that you pulled up for this, it will show you that your next assignment to do on your own is pull it up. Page 205 and 206, I do believe. Hope I'm getting that right. Yeah, this one was yesterday's. This is the one you graded today. So this is the page that you're going to start on today. Okay, if you have any questions,